In today's video, we're getting rid of the grandpa spec rake on my 2021 F-150 by installing a leveling kit. The reason why we're doing that is one, because it's gonna look a lot better. I just dislike rake on trucks, even though I know it is useful and it does help your MPGs. But we are going to be fitting 17-inch wheels and 35-inch tires on this thing. So we're gonna need as much clearance as we can get. And that's why we went with a 2.5-inch MotoFab level, which is about 70 bucks on Amazon. 70 bucks, this thing arrives to your door in about 2 days, thanks to Amazon, and comes with everything you need. Now I know this isn't the perfect setup and it's not really meant to be the forever setup on this truck. I know there's coilovers and Eibachs and Bilsteins and all of that stuff. So this is just a temporary setup to clear those 35s, but I am doing research on which way I wanna go with coilovers or suspension in the future. These Pittsburgh 3 tons are at max height. So just know that if you're gonna be doing this, you might need to go get some bigger jack stands. Now that I have this truck, I'll probably invest in the bigger ones. Also, on each side that I'm gonna be working on, I will have the jack on that side just for peace of mind. This is now underneath it, and you can tell a couple of things. One, it's super dirty, comes from a winter environment for sure, but we're gonna be disconnecting the sway bar end links. We're gonna be loosening these two on the upper control arm, and then we're gonna actually take out the bolts here on the bottom of the shock and the top of the shock, of course. Then we're gonna slide everything back together. So this is, you know, pretty easy job, probably about 6 to 10 bolts each side. We're also gonna disconnect the lower control arm bolts and then put those back together. So there's actually quite a bit we're gonna take apart here. You're gonna need a 21 for sure, and I believe a 27 for those big lower control arm bolts. So make sure you got the right tools before you start the job. Once we're all done with that, the biggest thing on these F-150s to fit bigger wheels and tires are these crash bars. Now, many people will just, one, remove them, but they're here for a reason to me. So what I'm gonna do is massage them and just try to give us a little extra clearance without hitting anything inside the frame. And then doing the same in the front without pushing away the bumper or anything like that. And then from there, I will actually try to get this stuff up and out of the way as best as we can. So that way when I have those 35s, we don't really rub on anything, we just have peace of mind. We've got the end link off. We're gonna take off this bolt just so that we have more slack on all these lines. And then we're gonna loosen up the 2 upper ball joint or upper control arm mounts. We're not taking them off, we're just loosening them up just to get some pressure off of those bushings that are in there. Next up, I'm gonna take an 18 and just loosen these up here. We don't wanna remove them entirely because we still need it to hold itself up so it doesn't just drop everything down. So I'm just gonna start breaking these loose and getting them going. Bad boys are on there pretty tight. So this is a 27 mil that you're gonna need here. The other side's a 21. So you always wanna take it off using the nut. You also might wanna mark where things are at because this does affect your alignment. Here. And we're out. Woo. Now that the shock is out, go ahead and inspect it. Make sure that your threads here are good and make sure the shock isn't like leaking or anything. We do have what looks like a very low, slow weep there. Not the end of the world. This does have 72,000 miles on it. And again, this isn't my long-term solution, but it will get me with the tires for now. I'm gonna use my workbench here and show you guys the spacer level kit that I got. Now, again, this is on Amazon. I'll have the link down below if you guys wanna copy it. But you basically just throw this puck up on top and it includes all the hardware. They have a lot of extra stuff taken off on this and a lot of words here, but I'm a visual guy, that's why I make YouTube videos. Based on what I'm seeing is that these go in through the backside to be your new studs. So this is an Allen that I'll torque down here in a sec. You'll start to see this poke through. This will be your new stud that goes into the chassis of the truck, and these new nylock nuts to go ahead and put this on top of the spacer. Instructions are saying 30 foot-pounds, so not that much. You really don't need to go Hulk on this. Just a little bit there. Basically any human can twist with your wrist 30 foot-pounds. Now that we're back at the truck, we're just gonna reverse the install and slide this thing in there hopefully. And I gotta remember how it goes because it only goes in there one way. Watch your fender, slide her on in there, play Tetris. Get it to drop low below this upper control arm, then we're good. With filming, we're about an hour 20 in. Without filming, this would be a lot faster. Plus, this is my first side. The second side, knock on wood, goes faster. This job with the right tools is not difficult by any means. You're just gonna need some muscle to make this happen. The hardest thing is really these lower control arm bolts. Getting those back aligned is gonna be the hardest thing. Now, I said maybe get it as close as possible for an alignment. I have no idea how alignments work. I'm not an alignment tech. But I got it somewhat on there and I'm just gonna take it to get alignment. But this thing's probably gonna be super wonky. That's okay, that's their job. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep tightening everything up. I'm gonna massage these crash bars, and then this side will be all done. I'm gonna keep the stock ones just so it doesn't look weird. But I do have aftermarket ones because you will need them for the aftermarket wheels. Make sure you use a torque wrench. I've got my digital one here set to 150. We just torqued them all down, but man, this is looking nice. Now, obviously it's uneven. Like the other side is still stock, so maybe that's affecting things, but I'm really liking this height overall. I can't wait till we get the new wheels and tires on there. This is the first time I've seen the sun in about 2.5 weeks in California. Now we're just gonna go ahead and knock out the same thing on the other side. I'll kind of just skip it for now for video and just kind of take you guys along the way if there's anything that pops out. But for the most part, we're just gonna rip and replace and do the exact same thing. I'm about 2.5 hours in, but I'm filming and talking and kind of taking my time. But the next side, I just wanna be able to put my head down, focus, and knock this out before it gets too dark. Texted my wife that I was starting on the passenger side at 3 o'clock, and it is now 3:51, and we have this side done. The only thing that's not done is the tire isn't, or the wheel isn't put on, and then also I haven't massaged the crash bars. So those are the only two things I have to do. But other than that, I mean, that takes like 4 minutes to do the wheels and tires, and then massaging the crash bars, however long you take, because you take your time or whatever. Now we have it on all fours. So this is the 2.5-inch puck spacer level, and takes about 3 hours or so if you have the right tools. As you can probably tell, it's a little high up front. It does need to settle before you go get the alignment. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and drive around the block a little bit. Of course, this could put some potential wear on your tires. I'm gonna be changing mine anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm gonna go around the block, see how everything looks and feels. Cruising around with no music on. First impressions are, you can definitely tell it's taller. Obviously the alignment is way off. It doesn't want to return to center nearly the way it should. But honestly, it's not that bad. It's pulling to the right slightly at 30 miles an hour. It's not terrible. The steering wheel is still straight because I didn't mess up with the tie rods or anything. I didn't undo those or change the length. But it's gonna be caster camber that's gonna be the most affected by those control arms. Also really wanna see how this thing rides, because the stock shocks are kind of floaty like an old school Cadillac. And I know puck levels add preload, sort of, is how they accomplish the lift. So I wanna see, does this kind of stiffen it up in a good way? It's not, so far, it's not like rattle your teeth out or anything like that, like an old coilover, a cheap coilover system on a car. So I think we're all good, but I just want to see, does it ride any better? No squeaks, rattles, or anything weird. It feels like it should stock. It was a little too floaty before, but this section has a lot of little cracks and little bumps in it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it feels a lot better actually. So far, I'm really impressed. Let me just go ahead and hit the freeway really quick. I'll pull the camera out if anything weird happens, but I just want to get a couple miles on it, let it settle, and then we'll go back home and we'll measure those fender heights. So anyone who has a stock truck who just wants to do the OEM Plus look, you guys can know exactly how tall this is. Use the tape measure and give you guys some measurements for the fender heights. The driver's side, which you can see says about 40 and 5/8. Driver rear, which says 40 and about 1/4. This is passenger rear, which is about 40 and 1/8. This is passenger front, which is about it's a 40 and 7/8, so almost 41. The next step is to get the wheels and tires mounted and balanced, and then after that, we'll throw them on the truck and we'll see how much trimming, if any, to the valence we will need to do. Another common mod is spacing out the bumper, so if this starts to rub a little bit too much, we can actually push the bumper up about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch or so. You just stack spacers on the front 6 bolts that hold the bumper on, and then it'll actually pull it out. There are some kits out there that offer this, but they're like $100 and it's about $4 worth of washers, so I'd rather just use the washer. Just dropped off the wheels and tires, which will be a little bit of a surprise for the end of this video, but in the meantime, I already know I'm gonna need to trim up this valence. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put a piece of tape about 1.5 inches down from here and try to do a nice clean cut to give us some extra room, because those 35s are definitely going to hit this. I already know that. We're going to try to make this as clean as possible. Post cut, and this might not be enough up here, so I didn't want to get too aggressive without having the wheels already mounted. Of course, these are still the stocks, but I think that'll get us started, and we'll see if we clear. My hypothesis is that this corner is still going to mark or to hit a little bit, so we might have to trim up into this a little bit more by taking off the lip slightly, but at least this gives us a head start into it. In the last clip, it was coming out of the wheel and tire shop, and this is how it looks today. Now, it's been a few weeks actually since that last clip, so it's a little dirty. I mean, it's definitely been raining here, but I wanted to show you guys how the fitment was. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. The trimming that I did in that clip worked out. I don't rub anywhere besides on reverse, full lock, a little bit on the crash bar right there. What I did was I massaged them, and what I mean by that is I really just pushed them out as much as I could and kind of loosened those bolts and just pushed it. It worked out for me. I'm still on the stock upper control arm. Biggest thing though is my wife and I have matching wheel and tire setups, like literally the same tire. These are just 35s. Technically hers are a little larger at 37s, but the exact same wheel, exact same finish. One thing I do want to call out is I have the max toe package, which means I have the 350 millimeter rear brakes. And these are 17-inch wheels, which if you read online, it'll say it doesn't work. What really doesn't work is, well, the wheel weights. It's the wheel to caliper fitment that's super tight in there. That is what you're worried about. So you can't put wheel weights really. I mean, I do have some. You can actually see that it's parked with the wheel weights there. And that is about max clearance. Like these are 1/4 inch wheel weights. Probably it's really close. Might just have to work with the wheel and tire shop that's local to you and just let them know about that little nuance. But as long as they are smart about where they place those, you should be good to go. This is a max toe with a 2-leaf pack, and you can see it's completely level. Now my buddy who has the exact same lift, exact same setup, his is a 3-leaf pack non-max toe, and his still has a little bit of rake. What we think is those 3-leaf packs are a little softer, so they account for more sag, so they're a little bit more raked. So when you do load it up, it'll just sink down. I think the max toes, they come already pretty stiff. That's why it has a stiff 2-leaf pack, and so they don't have any rake because it's meant to be stronger. So I might actually have a little sag once I actually load this thing up. But other than that, it's pretty sick to have matching setups here. This one's Star White, that one's Oxford White, so slightly different whites, but overall matching. I didn't want to tease you guys with just the level, so I wanted to make sure I covered everything, which includes putting the new wheels and tires on and showing you the finished product. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Of course, later I'll do other upgrades to this truck, but for now, it's about just getting this thing dialed. I have to do brakes, I got to do some other maintenance items like spark plugs, and then that'll give me the peace of mind to then start playing around with other things that make the truck cooler. But first, we just need to make sure the functional things are dialed in. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.